There is a little bit of confusion out there when it comes to the VRR range on the PlayStation 5, and I have to admit I was confused as well. And I received millions of comments about this, let's say issue or not issue, feature or whatever you call it. So some people claiming or saying that the VRR range on the PlayStation 5 is 48 Hz to 120 Hz, and those people are completely right, but also wrong, because we need to distinguish between supported games for VRR and unsupported games. And of course I can explain to you what I'm talking about. So we're starting with Godfall on the PlayStation 5, and as you may know, this game is on the official VRR supported list from Sony, okay? But there was no update so far for this game. So we know that the resolution mode, what you can see here, hopefully on your screen, the resolution mode on the PlayStation 5 and also on the Xbox Series X is stuttering because we have an unlocked frame rate, but unfortunately the frame rate is always, or in 99% of the times, below 60 FPS. That's why we have stuttering. So at this very moment, let me bring up this menu here. You can actually see that we are in the fixed 60 Hz mode. That means there is no VRR enabled. But let me show you something. I'm jumping into my settings here, and I will show you that VRR is actually set to automatic, as that's the standard setting, okay? But the only thing what I haven't enabled is apply to unsupported games. So Sony stated very clearly that the games on the official VRR list will get some updates in the next coming weeks. So again, Godfall hasn't received any update. The last update from Godfall on the PlayStation 5, I think, was early April this month, okay? So there's no new update for Godfall. That means we have no, let's call it, native VRR support for Godfall. But as you can see, what I'm doing now is I will enable this, and you just check this here, because the game is still running in the background, and because we have an unlocked frame rate, now we're actually in the VRR mode, and I'm just jumping back into the game, and as you can see, hopefully here, now we have VRR enabled, and we are talking right now about 55 frames per second. So that means the option VRR for unsupported games is actually working as it should be. But, and now there's the big but, it's actually really limited to 48 Hz. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. When I'm looking at the ground here, you can actually see that we have around 50, actually 60 frames per second at the moment. Here we have around 58, 59, 53. So keep in mind, as always, as soon VRR is enabled on the LGCX, so in this case it's the LGCX, that means the number what you can see, the value is Hertz is equal frames, okay? So that's how it is. And you can see at the moment, a little bit below 60 frames per second, but there is no stuttering. I can't see any stuttering, okay? This is absolutely crystal clear. We have a very sharp picture and no stuttering, no micro stuttering, nothing at all. VRR is actually working as it should be. There's no doubt about this. But now let's talk about the 48 Hz cap, because as soon the frame rate falls below 48 Hz or maybe 47, I'm not quite sure at this very moment, but as soon it falls below, let's say 48 Hz or 48 frames, there is no VRR enabled anymore. And I hope you can see this at the moment. It is stuttering. Now it is not stuttering. Can you see actually we have 52 Hz at the moment. And the problem is, like here at the moment, I can sometimes very briefly see that it comes below 47. Can you see this? 47, 48. So the problem is, as soon VRR stops working on the LGCX, it will also fall back into 59.33, whatever the Hertz is. That means, just let me bring this up again, I'm sorry. And If you have, of course, a TV with a nice game bar, then this is much easier for you. But can you see this? 47 Hertz, which means it is below this magical number, 48 Hertz, okay? And therefore there is stuttering at the moment. And this 59 at the moment doesn't mean we run in 60 Hertz. That means VRR is disabled. That's why the screen actually falls back to the native frequency, okay? But this is a problem because the game still runs below 48 Hertz, and that's why we have stuttering. I hope you can see this. So again, if there is no demand on the GPU and we have a perfect 60 or almost 60 or 58 or 57, you can see this here, there's no stuttering at all. But as soon there is a little bit of demand and we're falling below 48 frames, we have stuttering because VRR is not working anymore. And this proves actually that on unsupported games, the VRR range from the PlayStation 5 is limited to minimum or maximum 48 frames per second. But what about native supported VRR games? And I'm not quite sure if native is actually the right word for it, but Spider-Man is a complete different story because the behavior is completely different. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. Right now, as you can see, 60 Hertz, but VRR is enabled. So this at the moment is the fidelity mode, and the 120 Hertz display mode is turned off. Okay, so also in the game menu, or no, sorry, in the screen and video menu, as you can see, VRR is enabled or automatic, and apply to unsupported games is off. So there's this time there's no difference when I toggle this on and off. Okay, Godfall was changing into VRR when I toggled this on. Okay, so let's jump back into the game. So right now, again, this is the 30 FPS mode, fidelity mode. Okay, so it doesn't look good. It's 30 FPS, okay? I mean, resolution wise and stuff like that, really great, but 30 FPS is a pain in the, yeah. Okay, so let's enable 120 Hertz plus VRR, okay? And what I can see now, this is a day and night difference, okay? Day and night difference. And now the question is, of course, do we now have actually more than 40 FPS? And this is for me very hard to confirm here. And that's why I need your help. So please send me some screenshots or better a video on my email address, so you can find my email address on YouTube. Because if you have a TV with game bar where you can actually see the real frame per second at this very moment, like the S95P or any Samsung has a game bar, or the C1, C2 and stuff, and the newer TVs. Because the problem is with the LG CX, I just really have this VRR information. The problem is, and this is not just with PlayStation 5, this is also with the Xbox, when, yeah, if I remember correct, this is not correct at the moment. As soon we are in the 120 Hertz mode on the LG CX and the frame rate is below 60, this is what we're getting, okay? Below 60, but that doesn't mean we're not having maybe 50 frames per second at the moment, okay? Because it looks so much better. And what we can do now, I'm just going to disable VRR, because thanks God we can do this actually without turning off the game. So we're just going to off, and you can actually see this in a second. We are now into fixed mode, which means 120 Hertz fixed. There's no VRR enabled anymore. And what I can see is this game is suddenly much blurrier. Okay, and also I don't know how to describe this, but on the edges here you can see now double edges very, very easily. That means the game runs just with 40 FPS. It's still much better than 30 FPS, of course, but there is a difference between, yeah, the 40 FPS mode and 40 FPS mode with VRR enabled. I can clearly see the picture now is much blurrier. When I'm turning this back on, give me just a second, and I'm very sure you can't see this on the camera, but do me the favor and compare this on your own on any capable VRR capable display. So now we have VRR enabled again. You can see VRR here. Go away, instant game. Here VRR, and it is so much better. I know you can't see this on the screen or on your screen when I'm recording this. But this is like day and night compared to the fixed 40 FPS mode. This proves for me a point that first of all, VRR is working in the 40 FPS mode here, but it doesn't prove a point how much frames we have, because I can't see it. Because it can be, of course, that we now all the time over, let's say, 48 frames per second. And this would, of course, then explain why we don't have any stuttering. But to be very honest, I doubt this. I really like to see some footage from you guys, how much frames we have right now. Because I can't tell you, this is not correct. But we don't have 30 or we don't have 40 anymore, because as soon I'm enabling VRR on the PlayStation 5, the frame rate increases from 40 to an unknown number. Okay, so I hope that everything makes sense what I try to explain to you, because there is, in my opinion, nothing to worry about. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of a downside that maybe unsupported games are limited to just 48 Hertz, but that's how it is, okay? That's how it is, because unsupported, okay? If we have support for VRR, there's no problem. I can't see any problem, but again, I can't prove it that this frame rate at the moment is not below 48 Hertz, because if it would be around 50 all the time, then there is of course no stuttering. So do me the favor, send me some footage on my email address and I will make a video about this. I'm looking forward to get actually my new TV, because I need a proper gamebar where I can see the frames per second all the time. So, but again, in my opinion right now, there is no problem at all. So do me also the favor and test a couple of unsupported games like Elden Ring. I do not have this game on the PlayStation 5, because if I would, there would be already a video, of course. I do not have this game, okay? So I can't verify this, but this game is not officially supported right now. So do me the favor, test it and post your findings in the comment section, because I really like to know if VRR is stopping to work as soon the frame rate falls below 48 Hertz, 48 frames, okay? I really like to know this, okay? Thank you very much for watching me. I'm looking forward for your comments, and please send me some footage. Thank you very much. I see you guys next time. Bye.